Good morning again, church. What an honor and a privilege it is every week to be here, but today especially. And I want to say thank you to Pastor Scott for the red chair stories. I don't believe that there's anything in this life that we encounter, that we endure, or that we overcome that is not to be used for his glory. Our story is simply for his glory. Because I have the honor of choosing the children's verse each week, the one I chose today was intentional. Jeremiah 29:11 was my life verse, still is my life verse. I chose that when I was 10 years old in 5th grade, sitting in a classroom that was Pastor Sandra's old office. That year, 2 things happened that would forever change my life. That was the year that my parents got divorced. It was tough. I knew life would never be the same. The life I knew would change. That year, I was also diagnosed with endometriosis at 10 years old, pretty early. I remember my first surgery at 12 because the doctor couldn't find me. I was in the child unit, not the adult unit, so we were a little delayed. Over the next 16 years, I had 16 different surgeries, lots of medications, lots of everything you can think of. Got to the point where I almost got kicked out of my lovely school. Folks didn't believe that I was as sick as I truly was. And that brought hurt, because it wasn't just a church hurt, it was a school hurt. Confusion. I didn't understand. But I knew I was called to be a mother. I know every little girl, or most little girls, dream of getting married and having kids, but for me it was different. It was a true calling. And I knew that every single time those doctors told me, "You will never have children," I knew that was a lie from the devil. So many of you prayed with me and prayed for me over the years, and I thank you for that. You get to see the fruit of answered prayer with my 3 beautiful boys. I had a failed engagement. That was disappointing. Again, I thought, where am I supposed to go, Lord? Why did you let that happen? Because after my parents' divorce, I made a commitment to myself that when I got married, it would be forever. God blessed me with the perfect person for me. And our story could be its own red chair. God really worked through that, and it was an incredible journey. But even after we got together, I thought, thank you, Lord. It's going to be better now. Well, days after our engagement, I spent 10 days in the hospital in isolation for a sickness that they still to this day can't tell me what it was or what had happened. And again, why, Lord? Why is this happening? We got married, and as I said, I was told never, ever could I have children, but I did. The day we got back from our honeymoon, we were at the fertility specialist. The day. I'm a planner. We had 2 beautiful children, thanks to help. And then Wyatt Elijah was God's gift and God's surprise. More of a promise. After that, I really thought, Lord, this is the life I prayed for. Thank you. I've overcome. I'm good. Just after Wyatt was born, our middle son got really sick. Really, really sick. For the next 2 years, we were in multiple doctors' offices multiple times a week, and that became our life. One of his surgeries, the last surgery he had, almost took his. And for 36 hours, he was on life support. I was broken. I didn't think I had anything left in me. But our Father saved him. My Father saved him. When we were just beginning to recover from that, I suffered a traumatic brain injury. We had just gotten the family back together. I neglected to say that he and I lived in Shands in Gainesville for a few months while the rest of my family was here. But a few months after that, I had a traumatic brain injury. For 6 months, I was in and out of bed. I had multiple people taking care of me, a baby monitor on at all times. I cried, Lord, this is not the life that I thought you promised me. During this time, my father was going through multiple myeloma, and he was in a hospital bed as well. I was overwhelmed, overcome with darkness and with grief. As we came out of that, I believe the hardest thing that happened, we lost my brother in a tragic car accident. Broken doesn't even begin to explain. I had lost my best friend that had been with me forever. And coming out of a brain injury, if you know, memories aren't always there. And I lost the one person that could explain the memories and to bring them back. They were gone forever. I was always the sick one. My husband will tell you I should have died multiple times. My brother had one car accident, and he was gone forever. I was angry with God. I was confused. I was hurt, and I was so frustrated. I explained to Eric that my life verse, though it still was with me, it really just began to be a Dr. Seuss. It was a quote, a saying that made me feel good, but there was nothing behind it. Through much prayer of my own and much prayer of people for me, he brought life back into my heart. These 3 boys, they are what saved me. He has used them to give me a new hope, a new light, and a new faith. He does have a plan in all struggles, in all dark times, in all things, in joy, in happiness. He has a plan for us. Thank you, Pastor.